Okay. In this problem, we have a table here. It says tell whether or not x and y are proportional. Here's the problem. We need to check all 4 of these. If we don't check all 4, one of these could actually not work properly, and then it would not be proportional. So what I want you guys to do is that this x and this y form a ratio. They need to go together. So I want you to write these all out as ratios. So I'm going to ask the sub to go ahead and pause the video. I need you guys to go ahead and change these into fractions. So we're going to put this together as one fraction. One is going to be your numerator. The other one's going to be your denominator, and so on and so forth. What I'm going to do actually is label this A, B, C, and D. So it makes it a little bit easier for us to talk about it in just a minute, okay? So pause the video, write all 4 of them into a ratio. Sub's going to be walking around. We're going to give you about a minute or 2 to go ahead and do that, and then we'll come back to it. Okay, so what I've done again, same thing I asked you guys to do, is I'd use the 1/2 as your numerator, 3 is my denominator, and I went down and I put these together as a ratio separately for each row. Okay, I'm going to give you about 3 minutes to go through and work this out. Now, the 2 that are going to be the easiest is going to be B and D. Notice again, they're already set up as a ratio. Actually, B is going to be the easiest because B is already done. B is reduced. It's simplified. It's done. D needs to be simplified, which means it needs to be reduced. So we're going to make that a little bit smaller. We're checking to see if all 4 of these match. These all 4 need to equal the same ratio. If they equal the same ratio, they're equivalent. And if they're equivalent, then we can say, yes, they're proportional. Okay? So again, you have 3 minutes. The sub will be walking around, watching to see if you're working, participating. You should be changing this into, again, a division problem. If you need to look through your notes, we did this last week. We talked about fraction division and the rules that goes with fraction division. So again, pause the video and work on A and B, please. Okay, we're back. We changed this into a division problem. Notice I have 1/2 divided by 3/1. Remember, this is a whole number. I have to change that whole number into a fraction, so I have to put it over 1. The rule for this problem is, again, copy, dot, flip, keep, change, flip, keep, change, reciprocal, whatever you want to call it, okay? So I have to have 1/2 times, and we flip the second fraction only. Do not flip the first one. Only flip the second fraction. That's going to be 1/3. Again, we multiply straight across, and we get 1/6. Now, so far, A matches B, which is awesome. We need all 4 of them to match, though. You are not allowed to stop and say, we're done. Okay? Just because the first 2 match doesn't mean that all of them will match. Okay? That is called assuming, and you can't assume in math. You got to show me the work. You got to give me the evidence. You got to prove it to me. So again, we're going to pause the video. I want you to spend about 2 to 3 minutes working on C and D. You need to use A to help you to do C. Okay? Use your notes to help you work out C. It's going to be worked out the exact same way. And then I need you to reduce 2/12 down here on part D. Okay? So we're going to pause the video, work this out. Sub's going to be walking around checking to make sure that you're participating, and if not, writing names down. Okay? Do your work. Okay? So we changed the fraction into division. We changed the division by copy dot flipping the second fraction here into this. We multiplied straight across and we got 3/18. Now, if you give this as your answer, if you leave that as your answer, it's wrong. Because again, we need to reduce this. And divide the numerator by 3 and the denominator by 3, and that's going to give us 1/6. Now, for those of you who like to do the cross cancellation, you could have done the cross cancellation here. 3 and 9 both have 3 in common. 3 goes into 3 once, and 3 goes into 9 3 times. And if you were to multiply straight across, you'd get that 1/6. Okay. On D, all you have to do is divide by 2, and then we get 1/6. So notice again, all 4 of these match. That's exactly what we wanted. So if I were to ask you to explain your answer, you would say that you turn these into ratios, you simplified them, and you got 1/6 for all of them. And because all of them are equivalent, then X and Y are proportional. Okay?